a dynamic chartered accountant qualified in the year 2006. He worked for Infosys BPO in SOX audit team, and after quitting Infosys in May 2017, he started his professional practice. He is one of the most popular faculty in the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, Bhubaneswar branch. He is a regular panelist in various regional channels in discussion related to finance and taxation. In fact, I met Narayan Choudhury at a conference in Bhubaneswar early this year, and I was super impressed by his wittiness, by his sense of humor, and the kind of gyan that he has given to the audience. In today's episode, let us chat with CA Narayan Choudhury and let's find out from him if recession is around the corner. This is the Guiding Voice podcast series, the Guiding Voice for a better future. Friends, I am your host Navin Samala, just a fellow IT professional on a mission to make the world a better place to live. Through the Guiding Voice, we drive conversations that matter and conversations that add value to your life and to your career. Thank you so much for joining me. Narayan, hearty welcome to the Guiding Voice, and I'm super happy to have you here. In fact, I still remember your message the other day. It is so humorous and at the same time so knowledgeable. So I would love you to enthrall my audience as well. So thank you for being part of our journey.
Thank you, Navin. Thank you. In fact, thank you for inviting me. So I'm glad that I'm part of your show. So let's start.
All right. Yeah. Pleasure to have you here. And Narayan, maybe you said you spent about 11 years in the corporate and then took the plunge into your own entrepreneurial journey and all. So how did this 11 years in the corporate and last 5 to 6 years into this entrepreneurship, right? Can you share brief milestones, how it evolved?
Navin, in fact, before 11 years, even I'll go back a little bit why I became a chartered accountant first.
Sure.
So when I was in my 8th standard, I saw a movie where the hero Amir Khan was a chartered accountant. He was having a lot of money and he was driving Mercedes Benz. He was having a lot of respect. And in fact, there are a lot of girls behind him. So seeing all these things, I thought, this is something I want to become in my life. So in my 8th standard, I decided to be a chartered accountant. But, it's not so easy, right?
Yeah.
So when I started my CA articleship at Chennai, there was a senior called Prem Pereira. He was an All India rank holder.
Mhm.
So when I checked with him, what do you want to do after qualifying? He said, I want to join Infosys. I said, Infosys? Why Infosys? No, because Infosys gives us opportunity to go abroad, travel, see different countries, and all these things. And Infosys is the best company in India. So from there again, so I wanted to, after qualifying, I wanted to join Infosys and I wanted to go abroad. So after joining Infosys, I had the opportunity actually to travel 14 countries.
Wow.
I traveled almost the whole world, almost means I was traveling like hell these 11 years. So, but the day demonetization happened, when in the night 8 o'clock our PM came and said, withdraw. So I thought, no, yeah, time has come, India is changing. So I must leave leave my job and come to profession, because I saw that professional people will be in huge demand, because when everything will be systematic and when everything will be streamlined, so people will be in huge demand, professional people. So that's why I decided to quit Infosys in May 2017. I quit Infosys and I started my own practice. But before that, I was always like, my father was actually a teacher. So, like everybody, I wanted to be a fraction of my father. So I wanted to be a teacher somewhere. So I started teaching in CA Institute since 2011 and all these things. So people started liking the way I teach. People started liking me. I got a lot of love from them. So I took that also as my passion. Teaching is my passion. So that teaching is my passion and my profession is CA. So after May 17, I have, in fact, it has been a roller coaster journey till now.
Yeah.
And I think now I have come to a place where I can dictate terms and I'm happy. happy about
Mhm.
everything.
Super. Now let's move ahead and talk about top three things or the success mantra that attributed to your success so far.
Naveen, see, success for me is a relative term. Some people might think that I'm very successful, but as per me, I think it's okay. I'm not. I have done fair in my life, but still a lot has to achieve. But anyway, for till now, whatever I have achieved, I would give three attributes to it. First one is dream with open eyes. I always tell people, I always tell my students, dream with open eyes, because closed eyes can only show you darkness, whereas you will have clarity when eyes are open. In fact, our great Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam also said the same thing. Yes, dreams are such which don't allow you to sleep. Yes, so dream, always dream is fast, because dream only helps you to build the energy. Yes, that what you want to achieve in your life. So dream with open eyes. My first mantra is dream with open eyes. And second thing is trust yourself. Very important. Many times what we do, we have doubts on our mind. We wants to be a, say suppose somebody wants to be a actor, but if he is having doubts in his own mind that whether he can be an actor or not, then how others will trust him here, how he can be successful. So if you are dreaming something, you have to back yourself, you need to have trust on yourself, then only you can become successful. And third one is persistence, very important. Many times we start our journey, after 2 3 failures we start thinking, no, yeah, quitting is very easy, quitting is the easiest thing in the world. And that's why there is a saying, winners never quit and quitters never win. So quitting is easy thing, but being persistent is the nature of a winner. You have to be persistent, whatever you are doing, whatever you are thinking, whatever you are planning, you have to be persistent, then only you can achieve whatever you want to achieve. That's three attributes to my success.
Fabulous. So, in fact, I have also tweaked APJ Abdul Kalamji's quote: "Dreams are not what you see during your sleep, but they don't let you sleep." Right. So, I have created my own quote: "True dreams will never let you sleep," and so dream big and chase. So inspiring, Narayan. And now let's talk about this entrepreneurial journey. You said it's not easy to get where, yeah, to reach the current position, right? It has been a roller coaster ride for you. So, can you share some of the toughest situations that you have come across and how did you overcome them?
Yeah, see, the first thing what we do, first mistake rather what we look things from outside, and from outside it looks things looks very easy. You see any successful person, you see any successful businessman, whether it is Ambani's or whoever it is, from outside, or whether it is a cricketer or whether someone is a film star or somebody, any successful person, from outside we see and thinks, "Arey, wish I could have done that. I would also have become that much successful." So sometimes from outside, when I was planning to quit job and come to profession, I always used to think, "Arey, yaar, I'm a chartered accountant, so I can earn like anything like other chartered accountants are earning. Earning money is easy." I was thinking from outside, it was looking that earning money is easy, but actually it was not. Because when you start your own practice or when you come to profession, you need to get those clients. It is very tough.
Mhm,
Yes,
mhm.
and initial days, in fact, you come to your office, not a single client, nobody comes. You will have some staffs. Literally, like in fact, one of my friends said when I was planning to quit the job. One of my friend who quit the job, came to practice again, joined back. So he was like telling me what you are going to do. You know what happens when you go for practice? I said, what happens? Now, if you go initially, you will be sleeping this side, and your employees will be sleeping other side. Or yes, so situation will be like that because no client will be there. And I was thinking, no, how I have seen so many successful chartered accountants, and this guy is telling, might be something wrong with this guy. But when I came to my practice, I saw, yes, it's true, because clients will start coming only when they know you. And initially few clients will come, they will take your service. If you are providing good service, good, if you are adding values to them, then they will go and tell others, no, no, this person is there, you can go there. So this service sector, you know what, service sector purely runs on word of mouth basis. only, and it takes time for word of mouth to spread. Yes. So, and many times we start coming when we quit the job, we have 6 months salary and all in our hand, 6 months maintenance. We think 6 months is more than enough. So I also made the same calculation mistake. I thought, 6 months I can do anything. 6 months is more than enough. I can reach to the BEP, break even point, within 6 months. But actually, it took me 2 years. Not 2 years, more than 1 year it took. Yes, and back to back in even certain things which you don't see, like after I quitting, just 2 years after that, I made one small accident. I had to undergo a knee surgery and all these things. So things were going sometimes out of my hand, and then Corona came. Yes, so certain things which are not in your hand, but you don't you visualize those things when you are planning.
Yeah.
So anyway, fine. But like I said, persistence is very important,
Mm-hmm.
and value-added service is very important in service sector. How much value you are adding, that is also.
Mm-hmm.
So in this case, I backed myself. I had trust on myself. I said yes, I can do it, and I kept doing what I knows the best. Yes. So, and finally, today I am in a safer place. Today I enjoy. I love this what I am doing now.
Yeah. So nice to know about that. And in fact, you have been humble enough to admit certain things and all. And this is definitely going to be a helpful message for those who really want to hang up their corporate boots or hang up their boots as an employee and want to start their own entrepreneurial journey. And also, guys, be prepared to deal with something which is coming your way as an unforeseen situation and all. I think Narayan is a perfect example, and he assumed that 6 months reserve cash is enough, but I think it took more than a year for him. And also, likewise, we have to be prepared, and but at the same time, don't lose that particular passion and be persistent. That's the key message which I could infer. And thank you so much for joining that. And now let's jump into the core of today's topic about the recession and all. So, in general, if we Google for recession, we come across so many different definitions and all. But how do I explain recession to a layman, Narayan?
Yeah, that is a very interesting word actually, recession. Recession to a layman, recession means when everything stops. When businesses go slower, when industry goes slower, when there will be lot of layoffs and all these things. So for a common man, I'll explain you what is recession. Say suppose, take an example, a person, say suppose you are going to a restaurant. You went to a restaurant, you spent 1,000 rupees. Yes, on your meal. Say suppose your bill was 1,000 rupees, you paid happily 1,000 rupees. You have 1,000 rupees, so you happily went, you spent that 1,000 rupees in the restaurant, and you came out. And that what that restaurant fellow did, from that 1,000 rupees, he paid 200 rupees to the employee as salary, paid 200 rupees towards rent. He bought some groceries for the 500, say suppose 400 rupees. He kept some profit. And then employee, what he did, employee went, paid his school fees, his children's school fees and all this, maintained his family and all these things. So this is a, everybody is happy here. If you'll see in this state, everybody is happy. You are able to spend because you are having some money and you are confident about the future. You are not worried about the future. Now say suppose tomorrow somebody comes and tells, Naveen, recession is going to hit. Now say suppose you have invited me for the lunch. Now suddenly you start thinking, "Arey, yeah, recession is going to hit. Should I take this guy to the lunch or not?" And you called me and said, "Narayan, see here, I have some other plans. we'll go some other day." Yes, and why you did this? Because you want to save that 1,000 rupees,
Yeah.
because you are not sure about the future.
Yeah.
Yes, so you saved that 1,000 rupees. So, for what happened to that restaurant guys? That restaurant guys, nobody came. You didn't go because he didn't got that 1,000 rupees. So when he didn't got that 1,000 rupees, he couldn't pay the salary to the employee. He couldn't pay the rent to the owner, and he couldn't buy any groceries. So now what happened? The employee, he couldn't pay the school fees. So it, now this situation called recession, when everything stops,
Yeah.
everything is worried.
Yeah.
See, not much money was involved. Out
Yeah.
of 1,000 rupees, it was going, but it was going circle and circle and circle.
Yeah.
But in recession, what happens? Whoever is having the money, he kept it. He didn't spend it. So in that case, what happens? If And in theoretical term, if consecutively 2 quarters you have a negative GDP, then it is called as recession. So to a layman, this is what called as recession, means when everything stops.
Great example, and in your own style, which I like, because you generalize the subject so that anybody can understand. That's one of the unique things, okay, which people rarely have this kind of trait, and I admire you for that. And on that note, let's move ahead and go to my next question. Do you think another recession is around the corner? Because we have been speculating about this recession for the last 2 quarters and beyond. And if you talk about 2023, layoffs have started hitting in major organizations, and especially layoffs are happening in the states and developed countries and all, right? So, what's your take on that?
Yeah, actually, if you'll see the USA and in fact the Western world, USA and Europe, they are expecting a recession to hit by June, by second quarter. They're expecting, and even IMF and everybody has cautioned this that there might be another recession in the corner because see there are so many attributes to it, but major thing is actually like see this Ukraine Russia war, that was also one of the factor and all these things. So the layoffs has been started and people are expecting that might be the European countries or sorry Western world, USA and Europe, they are expecting that there might be, yes, again I'm telling, might be another recession which will be hitting in the second quarter of 2023. So we can see that is in the corner.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And what do you think will be the impact of recession in India this time? Because times have changed since the last recession, right?
Yeah, that is one. I would be happy to reply to that question. Yeah, actually, see, if you see as a country, we have 1.4 billion people. Yes, and if we'll see, we are a country with a lot of youth and huge possibilities. Lot of opportunities are there, huge possibilities are there, and we are a country of young and self-dependent country. And what do you know? Whatever products are there, we are capable of using it inside India itself. Yes, and it's also other way also true. Means whatever we need, we are capable of manufacturing it also. Mostly we are not dependent on other countries. Mostly bearing few things, bearing petroleum product. Mostly we are not dependent.
Yeah.
If we want, if the whole world cut down everything, still we can survive. And in fact, if you see a lot of things has been changed, and in country in Indian politics has changed, so, and the ease of doing business and initiative has made a lot of huge change to India. And other than that, Make in India initiatives also has made lot of changes, and MSMEs, SSG groups, they are creating lot of opportunities. And previously there was a saying, if America sneezes, rest of the world get fever. But we proved that wrong in 2008 itself. 2008, when the 2008 recession hit USA, India has been impacted, but not to that extent like other countries were impacted. And if you now compare today's India compared to 2008 India, we have grown a lot. Our status has increased a lot. Now we are the fifth largest economy. Yes, now we are going to be the hub of manufacture. Yes, so yes, I totally don't ignore the impact of recession in India. Definitely, there will be some impact, but as a country, we can come out of that situation. As a country, it is not going to affect that much.
Yeah.
Yes, and I would suggest to all the viewers to be positive about India.
Yeah.
As a country, we can overcome this. If
Okay.
at all the recession hit the whole rest of the world.
Sure. All right. So now let's talk about the impact of this recession on the rest of the world.
Rest of the world, I'll tell you one thing. Like, see, the Western world is dependent on others a lot. I'll tell you. See, if you go to USA, their whole vegetable, everything that comes from Mexico and other Latin American countries. Yes, same way, all the electronic products comes from China, Japan, and all these things. Yes, the clothings that comes from India, Bangladesh, and Malaysia, and all these things. Yes, and all the IT service the IT services that was purely provided by India and all this. So they might be, they are developed countries. Yes, Definitely they are developed countries, but purely they are dependent on others. Purely they are dependent. So that's why I don't know whether you would have remembered or not. In 2008, when the recession hit, American government declared a allowance of $750
Yeah.
for each individual.
Yeah.
Each individual. And that time, the Forbes magazine, that Forbes, he gave a very good statement, which was making the round a lot. In fact, I was traveling those days a lot. So he gave a statement. What he said. He said, as recession has hit America, whatever this $750 government is giving, we should try to keep that $750 in our country. If you are spending, his message was to the fellow Americans. He said, if you are spending this $750 on vegetables or food items, this money will go to Mexico and other Latin American countries. If you are spending this $750 for clothing, then it will go to Bangladesh, India, and Maldives, all these Asian countries. And if you are spending this $750 on electronic gadgets, then the whole amount will go to China and Japan. Yes, and if you are spending this $750 on IT service, then this whole money will go to India. Then what he said was really very interesting. He said, if you want to keep this $750 in America, then sip beers, few can of beers, and spend a night with the prostitute. That is how you can return this money inside America. Understood? Because these are the two things which is manufactured in USA. So that statement itself speaks a lot.
Yeah.
Yes. So definitely, if recession hits, this that is going to hit the Western world a lot.
Yeah.
That is definitely going to hit a lot.
Yeah, sure. Very, very well explained. And let's move to the next question. How should individuals, like especially those who are employed in a corporate or any organization, how should they prepare to face the recession?
See, honestly speaking, if at all recession comes, we individual can't do anything. It is not in our hand. Yes, government has to make some policies, but not planning for the recession also will be our fault. So how we can plan? To if you really wants to overcome this, and if you are a salaried person, then develop new skills. Develop new skills so that the company cannot retrench you easily. Yes, so the company cannot fire you off easily. Understood or not? So that's why you need to develop new skills. Very important. Upgrade yourself. Very important. Yes, and save some money. Of course, save some money so that you can utilize that. And if you are a businessman, if you are doing some small business and all these things, then have a product which is unique and develop a system so that you will be closely associated with your clients, closely associated with your customers. Learn the trick how to make happy your customer. Very important. If you are doing all these few things, then definitely this recession cannot do anything to you. You can overcome it.
Great, great tips, Narayan. And with that, let's go to the next question. This is more around startups and small businesses because many times during these kind of tough situations, they tend to shut down, right? How can they be in a better position and be better prepared to face the recession boldly?
Yeah, you are right, Navin. Actually, I have seen many startups struggle a lot. In fact, under me, some startups started before COVID, and 99% has been shut down because they couldn't cope up with that. That was also one kind of when the whole world went to lockdown and all these things, they came and they started just before 2 3 months. Whoever started, everything got locked down. So if startups actually, what startups needs to do is, like I was telling, they should focus on value creation rather than running behind money. They should focus on value creation. They should focus how to make happy their customers, how to delight their customers. Yes, they should focus on that. So if they are focusing on that rather than running behind the money, rather than running uh, just thinking how we'll get some subsidies or how we can earn some money, easy money. So if you are there focusing on that value creation part, making new products, innovate, spend more on research and all these things, then they can overcome this recession. And moreover that, like I was telling you from the beginning, that persistence and having trust on their vision, whatever vision they have kept. If they are not trusting, they themselves are not able to trust, then definitely others will not be able to trust. So they need to trust that vision. They need to be persistent. They need to give time. If something going on, it's fine, absolutely fine. If recession is hitting, it's absolutely fine. It is not in their hand. So, as either as individuals or as startups, we should always think beyond what is in our hand. What most of the time we do, we start thinking and wasting our time thinking what is not in our hand. If something is not in our hand, why to be worried for that? Be worried what is there in your hand. If you can rectify those small things what is there in your hand, then definitely you will not be in problem. Yes, you can overcome any situation.
Awesome. So focus on things which are within your locus of control. Don't worry about things that are outside your control. Wonderful.
Yes,
All right.
absolutely.
So Narayan, this has been fabulous conversation with a lot of insights. I would say tons of insights. And let's add some spice to the episode. Okay. I'm going to kick off a quick rapid fire round so that our audience get to know other side of you. Okay.
Yeah, of
So
course.
all right. So let's move ahead. Have you ever slept in a classroom or a critical meeting?
Yes, but with open eyes.
I think you need to teach the tips and tricks how to sleep with open eyes. That's a wonderful skill to have. Now let's move ahead and let's complete this sentence. Okay, I would like you to complete this sentence. My typical Sunday mornings are
Fabulous.
awesome. What do you do? Like, what do you engage in?
Yeah, means that is the day when I sleep little more.
Okay. Fair enough. Moving ahead, can you describe yourself in just one word?
Water,
Fluidic.
any color you add, I'll become that.
Super. What motivates you to get out of bed every morning?
Thinking that today might be my last day.
My
So
God,
get up, wake up, and finish what has to be finished.
so powerful. Okay, here comes the last one for rapid fire. What is one electronic gadget that you like to see or invent yourself?
Time machine.
Time machine. That's
I can
wish.
go back and change all the mistakes what I have done.
Interesting, interesting. All right, so that's a great rapid fire. With that, let's jump back or flip back to the mainstream. And before I let you go, one final question for today's conversation. So, Narayan, what will be your one piece of advice to those aspiring to make big in their careers?
Be honest to yourself. Don't run behind the money. Focus on value creation and trust yourself. This is what I want to tell to everybody whoever is trying to start a new career or whoever wants to do something great in their life. This is what.
Superb. So great
Thank you.
advice. And Narayan, thank you so much for joining me today. It was indeed a fabulous conversation. And in fact, you have exceeded my expectations here as well. And thank you for sharing all those wonderful nuggets of wisdom with our audience as well. Appreciate your time and insights.
Thank you, Navin. Thank you for inviting me. It was also great for me also. So really, your questions were fabulous also. Means it will add a lot of things. It will send a right message. Thank you so much, Navin. Thank you for inviting me to your show. Thank you.
Sure. Pleasure to have you. And friends, that was our episode with Narayan Choudhury, CA Narayan Choudhury. And before we move into the trivia section, here is a request to you. Please subscribe to us in case if you haven't done already. Also, if you have loved this episode and found the conversation useful, request you to share with at least three of your friends or colleagues who can benefit from the guiding voice. Thank you so much in advance. Now let's hop into the trivia segment of today's episode. So today's trivia is about Great Depression. You know how these recessions are named, right? What was the logic behind naming a recession? In general, recessions are really great depressions. But the term depression seems too terrifying. And after the Great Depression, economists began to use the word recession instead. The 2007 to 2009 recession involved a financial crisis, high unemployment, and falling prices, and was named the Great Recession. And our current recession is still without a name. And when I say our current recession, recession which we are anticipating in next 1 to 2 quarters, right? So that's all about the background of how recession is named a recession. And I'm really interested to learn from you what are the steps that you are planning to take to protect yourself from the negative consequences of recession. Be you are a salaried employee or be you are owning a startup. I would like to hear your thoughts and comments. Looking forward to it. That's all for today. Thank you so much for joining me. And friends, as always, please share your topic recommendations and guest speaker suggestions through social media or email me at theguidingvoiceforyou@gmail.com. I'm your host, Naveen Samala, just a fellow IT professional and a passionate learner on a mission to make the world a beautiful place to live through the conversations that matter and the conversations that add value to your life and to your career. Until next time, bye bye. See you all in the next episode with another wonderful guest.